Good evening, everybody. You hear me okay? No need headphone or something. Huh? So today I want to talk about the chanting. We have done extra chanting today, which is the paticca samuppada. This is in the page 78 in the book, bracket 54. This is what is translated as a dependent origination. And actually this subject is very, very difficult subject. One time I talked about this in the past, but I show you a picture of the Mara eating the wheels. And then I explain many, many things inside the pictures. But this time I want to talk about the paticca samuppada by itself. The meaning of paticca samuppada, like it's translated as a dependent origination. But the word paticca samuppada is built by three words. Paticca, this is from pachaya. The meaning of the word pachaya is a cause, or condition, or because of, or depend on. Okay, this is the meaning of pachaya. Something caused to something else. Okay. And some it's well, correct, the way it is. Okay. And opada it's mean rising. And the meaning of paticca samuppada it's mean a rising of effect because of certain cause. Because of some cause, there is an effect. Everything is cause and effect. And what is this cause and effect that we are talking about? This means about 12 conditions that they are creating each other. Because of one thing exists, and other things also will be exist. If one thing does not exist, so the second things will not be exist. And this chain of the 12 things that cause and effect, this is presenting our life actually. This is presenting what is the reason that we are suffering. Okay? Actually our suffering, all our suffering, the Buddha says, starting because of, we call it avijja. Avijja is ignorance. This is the first thing. If you open the page 78, the bracket 54, paticca samuppada, you can see that everything starts from avijja. Avijja, pachaya, sankhara. Pachaya is avijja is the cause of sankhara. Okay? So this is 12 things that because one exists, this is why the second thing exists. And because the second thing exists, also the third thing will exist. And if the first thing does not exist, the second thing is not able to be exist. And if the second thing is not exist, so the third is not exist. Like this is 12 conditions that one affecting each other, starting with the avijja, with ignorance. Okay? Everything starts because of ignorance. And the 12th part of the chain is all the kind of suffering. Aging, sickness, dying, limitation, sorrow, sadness, all these things that come with that because of decay. Okay? So this is show how, because of ignorance, everything starting and all our suffering, all of our existence in the samsara actually running. And this is the reason that we are suffering. Now, I will explain what is this 12 elements, and then I try, because, okay, first I want to say that this kind of idea of this 12 dependent origination on dependent things, this is the first things that after the Buddha get enlightened, he was sitting 7 days in peaceful open enlightenment. And after 7 days, he came back from the nirvana situation, okay? So he was enlightened in this moment. And actually, this is the first things what the Buddha have done. He started to recollect about this 12 chain, 12 element that is became like one is the cause to the other, one is the cause to the dependent origination. So at the night, after he came back on the 7th night, he came back from Nirvana. The first things that he had done, he started to think about this, to recollect about this kind of idea of dependent origination. And he did it in 3 ways. The first part of the night, he was thinking about that this means between, let's say, 6 to 10 o'clock at night. Okay, 6 evening till 10 o'clock at night. This is something what we call the first watch of the night. He was thinking, because of ignorance, sankhara exists, or mental formation. Because of this, mind exists. Because of this, body and mind exist. Soon I will go into it. And then from 10 o'clock till 2 o'clock, this is the second watch of the night, he was thinking about opposite. If ignorance is not exist, so sankhara is exist. And if sankhara will not be exist, so it means the mind will not be exist. If the mind will not be exist, body and mind will not be exist. It means what he have done, he started to go opposite direction. Okay? And then this was the make from, like I said, from about 10 o'clock at night till 2 o'clock at night. And then in the third part of the night, the third watch of the night, from 2 o'clock till 6 o'clock, he was thinking in the back, forward and backward, forward and backward. So actually, you see that this is the first thing what the Buddha has done. But this kind of things, what we call dependent origination, is very, very deep. It's very, very difficult to understand. That's why sometimes people explaining it in different ways. There is different way how to interpret it. Even in the sutta, they explain it in different way. But the Buddha said that enlightened person, he understands it fully. And for example, one time the assistant of the Buddha, Ananda, he go together with the Buddha, and Ananda, he was just a sotapanna. He, the first step. And he said to the Buddha, "Oh, Venerable Sir, Buddha, paticca samuppada is very, very understandable. It's very, very clear. It's very, very simple to understand." So the Buddha said to Ananda, "Don't talk like this. Paticca samuppada is very, very difficult to understand. It's very, very fine. It's very, very deep. Okay? But today I will try to explain you in something like 2 ways about this idea. One, it's something like from our own experience. How can we experience it by ourselves? But first, before I go deep, go into this paticca samuppada and 12 things, first I mention what they are, these 12 things that creating each other, that depending on each other. So, like I said, the first thing is the ignorant. The Buddha said, because we don't know, because there is misunderstanding, because there is, we call it avijja, ignorant, okay? Soon I explain what is this ignorant. I don't know this what is ignorant. Ignorant of what? Who is the person who is ignorant? Okay? So, because of ignorance, there is volition in the mind. What is volition? Anger, worry, doubt, lazy, craving, okay? There is this kind of characteristics. Because there is this kind of characteristics of greed, anger, delusion, there is a mind. The mind, you cannot function without these characteristics. Because there is a mind, there is attachment, there is a body and mind. Okay? Because there is a body and mind, yeah, there is sense thoughts, hearing, seeing, smelling, tasting, feeling, thinking. If we don't have body and mind, how can we see? If we don't have body and mind, how can we hear things? Okay? So you see that if there is no body and mind, we will not be sense thoughts. We cannot hear, we cannot see, but Because we have the body, we also have these sense doors. So you see, the one is dependent on the other. Because we have hearing, seeing, smelling, tasting, we can contact. We can get the information. If we don't have eyes, we never be able to see. But because we have eyes, automatically we can see. No possible. Huh? You have eyes, you might see. You have ear. If it's function, everything, the body and mind function correctly, you can hear. So it means that you see this is because of sense doors, immediately you can get the information. Without the sense doors, you cannot get the information. Because you get the information, you have a feeling about the information. You like what you see, you don't like what you see, okay? You have opinion, you like it or you don't like it. Sometimes just neutral, you have some feeling about it. So this is the next thing, okay? Now we come actually to the 7 weeks. Again, I remind you. The first one, we talk about the ignorant. Because of the ignorant, this is the first one, coming the second one. What is the second one? It's coming the mind formation. Things that created because of, like greed, anger, and delusion. Okay? Soon I will go more deep. Okay? Then, because we have this greed, anger, delusion, the mind is functioning. Without them, the mind cannot function. The empty mind cannot be. Okay? So the mind is working because of this. So the mind is already the 13th in the chain. Because we have mind and we have attachment, we have body and mind. Okay? So then this is the 14th already. Because we have body and mind, we have 6 sense doors. Let's say 5 sense doors. Hearing, seeing, smelling, tasting, feeling. So this is already come the 6. Okay? Because we can hear, we can see, we can smell, we can taste, we have a feeling to it. We like it, we don't like it, maybe we're neutral about it. Feeling coming to it. Because we have this feeling, okay, immediately we have craving. We see something, we like it, we want it. We want it. So it's been craving coming because of feeling. Wanting coming. Because we want something, maybe we immediately go and grab on it. Clinging. Because we cling to it, then start to have becoming. We already powerful with the mouse. Why powerful have the mouse? Because he wants the mouse. Why he want the mouse? Because he see the mouse. Because he like it. Why he like it? Because he see it. You see, one thing is creating the other thing. Yeah? And then because now I holding it and starting something, now there is new personality. Powerful with the mouse. It's birth. So now I have this, and then you start to get old. Now it's breaking or not functioning, and then I'm not happy anymore. I want to buy another one. Okay? So now you see this is 12 things that creating one because one thing exists, the other thing exists. Because now I give you another example. Okay? I try to make it more simple to you. The first chain we say it's ignorant. Avijja. What is avijja? What is ignorant? Ignorant about what? About the form of the truth. For example, let's talk about chocolate. Okay, we make it simple. Chocolate. Children like very much candy. They like very much chocolate. Elder people, they know that if they take too much chocolate or too much candy, it will create problem to the teeth. Then they have to go to the dentist. It's create a lot of problem to them. It means there is a danger of this. There is disadvantage to take too much. It's create a lot of problem. So it means that you see that someone has wisdom. He understands that to have a craving to the sweet is not so good. Better not to let the craving come up to us. But for example, children that they don't know it, they let the ability to the craving to come into them. Okay? So you see, they don't able to see the dukkha, the suffering that coming because of sweet, because of chocolate, for example. Okay? They don't understand that craving, it's something that creating the suffering. Actually, why they will suffer because of the chocolate? Because they follow the greed, they follow the wanting, okay, the craving. But they don't understand that if they don't let the craving to come, they will overcome the craving. So they will not have all this suffering of the problem with the tooth. But if they already the craving coming, how to overcome them? By acknowledgement. Okay? By overcoming. So you see, these four things, what we call four noble truths, we don't understand the things, they are potentials of suffering. So this is the first noble truth. Because of this, we let the craving to these things to raise up in us. We don't understand the opposite. If we overcome this craving, if we just cut in the craving, so people want, why I should not follow the greed to the chocolate? Chocolate is so tasty. Why I not follow the chocolate? Huh? Why I don't take candy? Why you say to me, don't follow the greed? Huh? It's so tasty, it's so nice. So we don't understand that if we want not to suffer from this chocolate, because we understand that it's important, potential to suffering, and the reason of this craving, we try to overcome the greed, okay? And how to do it? By what we call Eightfold Path, okay? Knowledge and cleaning the greed, okay? The Eightfold Path: do good, don't make bad, and purify the mind. Now, when people, for example, the children, okay, they don't understand these four elements, they let the craving come on them. So when the craving coming on them, immediately there is a greed in them. There is maybe aversion. Sometimes they don't happy, okay? There is delusion. They don't know. Right? There is attachment. All these things. Because this exists in the mind, greedy mind coming into them, anger mind coming into them. It means you see that because they don't understand, so greed is function. If they understand, suppose someone understands, oh, this chocolate is not good for me, he don't let the greed come into himself. But in the moment that the greed coming into them, it means where is the greed? The greed is coming into the mind, greedy mind. Okay? If they have the wisdom, so the wisdom will come into them, it will be a wisdom mind. So you see, the ignorant create this greed. And the greed, when he appear in the greedy mind. So now we have person, body and mind, which is greedy. So already body and mind, you see, this is the four things already, the four chains. The child, he don't know it's not good, so he let the greed coming in the mind. He let the greed coming, he created it inside himself. Where is it created? Inside the mind. Because we have child, which is a body and mind, greedy. So now, what happened? He have eyes. So he's looking for the chocolate. Wherever you see the chocolate, he attracted by this. It means you see already the eyes is searching for the chocolate. Automatically, because the greed is in the mind. Okay? So candy. When you see the candy, immediately liking it. You see, immediately the feeling coming. Happy. You see, okay, when he see the candy, oh, now he wants the craving. This is the next one because he like it. Okay, so he craved it. When he craved it, immediately he holding it. Okay, holding it now, and the child with the candy there. The next chain, next chain. And then he put in himself. He put himself new kind of birth coming. Why? Because this chocolate became part of his body already. He started to have a process in the stomach, in the tooth. So what happened when this birth of I would say a process in the mind, in the tooth, the tooth start to get old, start to get decay, okay, and then the pain soon will come, and you have to go to dentist and all the suffering. So you see, this is, I show you, for example, how this kind of avijja, the ignorant, creating one by one, and it's lead us from the morning we are waking up till the night we go to sleep. All the time it's running. Okay. Now we don't understand, for example, that internet. So people are looking in different things in the internet, maybe too much news. Okay. So they don't understand that this is actually give them suffering. So the boredom mind coming exist, okay? They let the boredom, they let the craving to look at the news or whatever it is. For example, or I don't know, some kind of article about corona. Okay? And then immediately the craving to search about this corona problem is exist in the mind. So now we have person, body and mind, which is letting the eyes or maybe information in the news, okay, searching, which means immediately the sense doors getting the information, hearing, seeing, whatever. So the eyes capable to see, immediately you don't like it, or maybe you don't like it because you read about article which is disliking. Oh, too many people, problem. Immediately what happened? This feeling, okay, creating, want to search more. More interest. Maybe you want to search more. So the craving is there. Craving is there, immediately go into the article. Already attachment. So now all this information coming to you, starting to be new personality. Maybe worry, maybe whatever, and then so start to create inside you new stories, new things. Birth is there. Birth is there, or already worry. Already thinking what to do, how to do, whatever. Which means that starting all this process of suffering is there. So you see how every moment when you don't know that this action is going to make suffering to you, you follow it and you allowed to the process of the negativity to run into the mind. So it's coming from actually everything from you. So now I explain you something like how it's coming to be these things in your life. But I try to go more deep now into the idea of it. We said that the first chain is ignorant. But what I talk to you, you have the ignorant, I have the ignorant, the child have the ignorant. But I want to tell you that all these 12 things, it's opposite. It's come to show that there is no identity there. I give you an example. You see the cloud on the star, on the sky. This cloud belongs to someone. If this cloud is inside someone, if someone belongs to this cloud, just a cloud, going on the sky. Is there is anyone belong to this cloud? It's coming, it's changing, and it's going. It's just conditioned by itself. The wind blow. Is this wind is belong to someone? Is this wind is inside someone, or it's just a blow of wind in the nature? So you see that nature is just a nature. It's not belonging to anyone. We talk about the child. The child is ignorant. He don't understand that chocolate is not good. Is this child can choose to be ignorant or not to be ignorant? He can take the ignorant, he can bring the ignorant. When we say that I have the ignorant, where is inside I that actually this ignorant is? If it's really this ignorant in me, people say they go into the internet. What does it mean they are going to internet? If they know, why they don't make it that they know that it's not good to go into this internet and to look for the corner? If they're so clever, why they don't choose differently? Because it's just conditioned. It's not belong to them. It's just condition that raise up, and it's not raised up inside them. It's not even not raised up inside the child. It's coming and stay and go. Same like the cloud. The cloud is not belong to anyone. It's just coming, stay and go. Like any other condition. And because in the nature, there is this kind of ignorance, what we say. Ignorant, it means not understanding the Four Noble Truths. And again, it's anatta. It's just conditioned in the nature. It's coming, stay and go. Coming, stay and go. And it's not coming inside you. It's just coming, stay and go. Because if it was belong to you, you could choose not to have ignorance. You could choose to be clever. But if you talk about this, that when ignorant comes, it means we don't understand the Four Noble Truths. There is no understanding of this Four Noble Truths. What they are the Four Noble Truths? We say the first one is no understanding about suffering. The second one is the reason of the suffering. The reason of the suffering is that attachment, thirsty. So because of this thirsty existing nature, it's not exist in anyone. It just exists in the nature. We don't understand also, there is no understanding about nirvana, nirodha, and the Eightfold Path. That's why the sankhara, which is a condition of volition, that you experience it, okay? That is negative created. Because ignorant cannot bring wisdom. This is different condition. Different, ignorant cannot create mindfulness. So in this case, we are talking about the ignorance creating mind formation, what we call sankhara, volition. Okay? Sometimes we talk about this, that sankhara is also the good things, good volition in the mind. Like loving kindness, compassion, wisdom, like I said. But in this case, we are talking about the sankhara. It's the negative volition in the mind. All the things what became greed, anger, delusion. All together we have in the mind 14. What are these 14 things? I will tell you, okay? One of them, we say moha. Moha, it means delusion. No understanding. The second, I am not ashamed. I don't try to do bad things. We don't see the difference between good and bad. So we don't shy to do bad things. Okay, another one that it's okay, I'm not afraid to make mistake. I'm not afraid to do bad things. Okay? This is volition. This is things motivate us in the life. But what they motivate us to do bad things, to make wrong things, okay, to do bad karma. We have restlessness, the mind jumping, okay, also created because of ignorance. They create greed, okay, wanting. Because of ignorance, we want. It's create wrong view. We have many view. Okay, many kind of view. Why to respect Papa, Mama anyway? We are living one time. Okay, why to do bad anyway? There is no karma. Yeah, there is something which is impermanent or permanent. Sorry. Okay, not everything dukkha. So we have many kind of view, wrong view, and we have conceit, the ego, and this is why, because of attachment, create the I. Another things which is this create, it's the anger. Okay. Another things is envy, jealous about other people, why they have. Another things it's stinginess. I will never give you. This is mine. I don't want to give you. And also regret. Oh, why I give them the present? I should not give them this. All the time fighting, regret about other things what we have done. There is another more three things that it creates. This is called sankhara. Why? Because the ignorant creates them. And the meaning of the word sankhara, it's come from. One moment, this is two words actually. One of them is the sang, which to put together, and kar. Kar is to make. So it means that because of the ignorance, create some things. What is these things? The things that motivate us to function. That's why we call them sankhara, volition. They will motivate us to do things. And I show you now about 14 things which is negative that are created because of ignorance. Another three things, it's the laziness and tiredness, okay, and doubt. So all together, because of not knowing the Four Noble Truths, which is exist as a condition. It's not exist in any one of you. It just exists in the nature. This is anatta. Okay? It's the same like a cloud exists. Okay? It is a mountain exists, but cloud and mountain and water, they are physical. And the ignorant is actually in mind. This is condition of mind. Okay? That's why we cannot find it anywhere. So the ignorant create this sankhara or volition in the mind, which is the negative. And because they are exist, there is a mind, greedy mind, there is anger mind, there is doubting mind. The mind can function with this volition. Okay? If they don't exist, if greed not exist, how can the greedy mind can be? If anger not exist, how can the anger mind? But because there is greed, so greedy mind can be. For example, when we are practicing vipassana, we are practicing mindfulness. In the moment of mindfulness or wisdom mind coming, the wisdom is create wisdom mind. So, and then wisdom mind create body and mind with wisdom. Okay, but if greed exists, so greedy mind is exists. If greedy mind exists, body and mind, which is person which is greedy, exists. Okay, so you see, one is the cause of other, one is the cause of other, but it's anatta, it's non-self. It's not that any one person choose to be like this or not to be like this. This is the nature how it's running inside us. Okay, so when the greedy person exists, okay, then we have the 6 sense doors. So we can see, we can hear, we can smell, we can taste. We get the information through the sense door. This is we call paso. Paso, it's contact. Yeah. Now the person can see. Now the person can smell. Now the person can taste. He gets the information. He's not only getting the information, he also getting this information, get some impression of feeling inside it. So either you like it, either you don't like it, either in neutral. So now this grid angle delusion starting to follow or to function through this information, what the person see, what the person hear. Okay, start to influence on it. Okay, so immediately he crave to what he see. He want, for example, even position. We want position. Okay, we want degree or famous, to be famous. So there is craving coming because of the feeling. If you don't have a feeling to this, if you don't like something, you don't want it. But in the moment that you like it, you also want it. Okay? And in the moment that the craving coming, automatically clinging. Why? Because if you don't have interest about something, you don't hold it. But in the moment that there is a craving, I want it, and then you hold it. Okay? So automatically you see that in the moment that the clinging, that the craving go away, there is no reason for the person to want. But in the moment that there is a craving, we are trying to get it. Trying to get it, we crave to it. Okay? And then we clinging. We don't want to let it go. Within person, people. How many people you feel bad when they, I don't like him to die, I don't want him to die, or whatever, okay? So when there is a clinging, immediately there is a becoming. There is new. For example, as a husband and wife, man and woman. The man see the woman, immediately like it. He like it, he crave to it. He crave to it, he hold it. He hold it, maybe they make sex, immediately there is a new becoming. New baby born. When there is a becoming, immediately there is birth. New life coming. I gave you the example for taking and putting something in the mouth, immediately there is new person. The blood start to work, digestion system start to work, there is a birth. But when now the baby grow up, he start to have aging, he start to have maybe sickness, okay, and then getting old, and also dying. So people they start, he himself start to be sorrow, sadness, okay, and suffering for it. So this is, and then start again and again and again. These 12 things showing actually how, as conditions, one condition affecting the other condition, affecting the other condition, affecting the other condition. But it's not that we are choosing to do it. It just happened by itself. And this is one thing that shows the anatta, the non-self. Normally, we think that we are doing something. But this is showing, when people are practicing, they will understand it more and more deep. How, because of one condition, another condition, another condition, another condition. Last time, I give you one example to make it more simple. Because the sun is shining over the sea, the water is vibrating. Because the water vibrating, they became light, they are going up to the sky. Because they go up to the sky, they're getting cold. They're getting cold, they became cloud. Because they're going getting cloud, they became more and more heavy, black, and then starting the rain come. Rain come, dropping down the water. Dropping down the water, go to the sea again, and then start again. You see, there is no one to do anything. It's just as a process of cause and effort, cause and effort, cause and effort. And the Buddha explained that human being, it's the same thing. Ignorant rising and ceasing, rising and ceasing. When the ignorant rising and ceasing, it exists as a condition in nature. So he created this influence of greed, anger, delusion. And this greed, anger, delusion, they're affecting the mind. Okay? It means greedy mind exists. Worry mind exists. Doubting mind exists. When there is doubting, this is attachment. So immediately the body and mind is there. The mind is holding material. For example, you yourself, you must have a house. If I destroy your one house, immediately you go, you stay in another house. Immediately you crave it, you need something. So the mind cannot be without body. We must hold body. So there is a body and mind. But in the moment that you have body and mind, immediately you have sense thoughts. Hearing, seeing, smelling, tasting, feeling. Okay? And then when you have these sense thoughts, you're getting the information. You're getting the information, you like it. Or maybe you don't like it. You have feeling about it. Immediately you have craving to this. Craving, creating, the clinging, I want it. And then holding it, okay? And then becoming something new coming up. And then there is a birth. It means there is new baby, there is the cells coming again. Huh? And because of this, I'm getting old. Getting old, aging, sickness, and death to die. And then start again. The Buddha, that's why the Buddha said to Ananda, it's very, very difficult to understand. Ananda think, oh, it's very simple to understand. But actually, this is show the meaning, the full meaning of non-self, of anatta. Okay. Okay. Anyone have question about it? Or anything? Anyone want to ask something? It's difficult subject, very difficult subject. When people are practicing more deep, they can understand it more. That's why the Buddha say, enlightened people, they can understand the paticca samuppada. In the book, there is different kind of interpretation of different books. There is different kind of interpretation. Some of them they interpreted it as the past life influence and creating this life, and this life will create the next life. Also explain like this. Some explain another way. Okay. For me, I think that this is talking about every moment of paticca samuppada. Sometimes they say that all these 12 chain of 12 things, actually they're all the time together and they're rising and ceasing. They're rising and ceasing together. So this is another way to explain. Okay? Please, any question? Good. So if no question, we pay respect again to the Buddha. Araham sama sambuddho bhagava bhutam bhagavantam bhagavate sawa Sakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhamman Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sangham Namami. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Pante. Satu, satu, satu.
Thank you, Ajarn.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, Ajarn.
Bye.